Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 34 of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. It's a podcast by crew for crew and relentlessly mocked by the Discord crew. I am your host, Big Joey. I am joined by Big Keith.
Howdy.
And everybody, since we're halfway through to episode 69, we finally did it. We finally got Big Matt, mostly squat videos on here. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Thanks for finally having me on the show.
Matt?
You there, buddy? You have to, is your microphone hooked up? I had an issue last
What do you
week.
mean my mic's
He's
not working?
muted, from my
Jesus
end.
Jesus Christ. Are we ever going to get this figured out?
Hey, what are you guys doing?
This is basic on it. Well, give me a second. I'm going to phone Nate.
All right.
Oh, technical difficulties, my fat Irish ass.
Man, yeah, Matt's audio's all messed up. Did you jump on and see if we can fix it like we did last week? There he is.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? What's the problem?
Long time no see, stranger.
Well, Matt can't seem to sort out his audio.
Oh,
He looks pretty pissed.
are you guys competent enough to just turn microphones on? Is this just a difficult situation for all of you, or what's the deal?
I will have you know I've never turned anything on in my life.
I can expect that. Well, you know what? Okay. Matt looks like he's just going to hop off. Maybe, I don't know. He'll probably just hop on later.
I can't believe you're doing this to me. This is absolute bullshit.
I'm just going to stick around. You guys can't seem to figure out this podcast thing like 2 weeks in a row without me. I've been cutting like 45 minutes of extra text and comments and things out of your messages or out of the whatever this is, this podcast thing. You guys just talk about stuff that isn't even the podcast, and I have to cut it out. It's, oh, Nathan, can you cut my 60-minute epilogue about the thing I did with my that one thing? I'm not supposed to talk about it. But all right. I'm just gonna. I've got some segments I've got lined up. I've had these in my back pocket for months. If Matt joins, whatever, you guys can interview him. I know you've reached into people's DMs and all that, but just we'll set him to the side. All right, guys, what are you drinking tonight? Because obviously Matt probably was drinking some fancy IPA or something that he bought for $60 from who knows what brewery that micro batches with next to their socks or whatever.
And he was probably on his 17th one, and that's why he couldn't figure out his damn laptop because he's drunk on a Thursday night at 8.
Well, we can't expect him to, be cooking dinner and getting onto a podcast all in the same night. So,
yeah, well,
It's a bummer. We tried really hard to get him on. I have something Morgan picked up for me the last time we were in the city. We've had this brand before. This is a water. It's not a beer. And it is called, if you remember, Candy Can. It was that really weird sweet one I had. This one is called Rocket Ice Lolly, 0 sugar, sparkling water. So we're going to see if I hate this.
is that the same brand that had the boogers in it last time?
No, that was Mentos. That was legitimately
okay,
Mentos water.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I remember that one.
Whoa, double crack. Oh, no. Yeah, so this is supposed to smell like or taste like one of those red, white, and blue popsicles, I guess.
Okay, that could be good.
it's the wrong time of year for that.
It's also the wrong country to be enjoying that.
Joe, you're not allowed to have that.
It's actually delicious. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole can because, it's very sweet, but yeah, I'm in. It's delicious.
I'm rocking. Yep. I've got me some Fairlife protein, the Wegmans 30-gram one. It was pretty much out of sparkling water, so I was like, what can I drink that's not just tap water? And here we go. It's the old reliable protein in a bottle. And it is in my nice, strong, and silly sippy cup for the retro, thick foam cup koozie that is.
Did you guys request those? Somebody requested that they make those. I feel like it might have been on this show.
I kept requesting a skinny one.
Yeah.
But that has yet to, surface. But I'm not sure who, requested. I mean, it is nice. It definitely, it reminds me of like the one that my dad would have used in like the early 90s at like a barbecue or something. But I definitely don't like see these. Like, I don't think I use these necessarily growing up or drinking at parties and shit. But it definitely is like nostalgic to see it and like feel it.
I think they're dope.
It's pretty cool.
I just got water. I didn't have any sparkling water in the house on my way down here to fix your guys' freaking podcast. So I keep a silly pint at my desk that I fill up with water. And I just got this fancy fancy Husky sit-stand desk from Home Depot for my birthday. And it's got a nice metal frame so I can snap a drink spotter onto the side of it.
Oh, nice.
Genius.
Super safe, but because I had to rejigger my desk to be able to get with you guys and not use whatever, I don't get to use it tonight, and I'm a little nervous. That would be on me to ruin the podcast if I just dumped my water all over my computer, but I'll do my best. So yeah, just water tonight.
At least we're recording to the cloud, so it wouldn't kill us too bad.
We're not. We're recording locally, Keith, and this is why I'm here.
I like to record.
Don't even know.
Joey likes to record to the cloud.
Nope, we're locally, man. That's how I send to get. You know what? That's why Nate's here.
No,
This is why.
When we recorded before, you used to always do it to the freaking cloud. I think.
We've never done it to the cloud.
Oh my god, he always did.
Not once. I share it in iCloud.
No,
Keith, we're gonna have to put you on suspension here pretty soon. You better need to get in line. What are you wearing this week, guys? What's the apparel business looking like tonight, Keith?
I am representing our podcast with my Amazon-made shitty heavy cotton that's like way saggy and big T-shirt, but it's got our name on it, and that's pretty damn cool.
That is cool.
The unpaid and underrated podcast.
Yes,
I'm still wearing the Ouch Everything Hurts from last week. I think. No, last week I was wearing the Lift one. But yeah, I just put on a
because we all
random
three have
shirt.
the same shirt on, right?
Yeah. Interestingly, I have an unpaid and underrated shirt on its way as well.
Nice.
I stole your idea and I was like, Amazon, but for some reason this is coming all the way from China. Like there's just no local one stop.
Yeah, there were like 100 different places to get it from, I think. So it's whichever the.
Yeah, I just went with the top rated, and yeah, it's shipping all the way from like Wuhan or something.
Nice. No, I'm curious about nature.
Oh, Shenzhen. It was Shenzhen.
The Shenzhen. Everybody knows about Shenzhen. What are you curious about?
It looks like you have a working hard shirt, but it's like it's coming off as like teal, and I know mine is not that blue. So you must have like your filter must be turning your shirt a different color or something. I don't know.
It's going through the cloud. It's the cloud filter.
Yeah, it's the cloud filter. Also, this is
I hate you so much. I swear to God, I used to always record locally, and you told me you always recorded to the damn cloud. That's why we lost the file when you ran out of freaking cloud space the first time. I'm not making this shit up. It's true.
Audience, please don't listen to a word he said. No, this is the blue working hard tee. I threw it on because you guys make me work hard editing these episodes and fixing all of your mistakes and Matt's inability to record his own podcast or log on to Zoom. It's not even that hard. My grandma could do this and Matt can't get on here. It's ridiculous. Yeah, working hard tee. Classic beefy. I just needed a nice warm hug of a t-shirt.
I'll give you a hug if I ever actually meet you in person, damn it.
Nah, well, if you would. Keith just couldn't be bothered to stay 3 extra hours at the Arnold for me.
That's why I'm not going to travel with my wife to stuff in the future. I don't think it'll be easier. When my wife says it's time to go, it's time to go. When I'm there by myself, I guess I get a little bit more leeway.
Yeah. Speaking of leeway, let me leeway us right into one of my favorite segments. What did you guys think about last week's episode of the podcast? I know it seemed pretty dense to me, if you ask me. There were a lot of things said on that podcast that I did not understand. Keith,
I know you're up talk, yeah.
Yeah, well, not even sets. It was like
there is powerlifting politics. That's I do listen to I think I've listened to pretty much every Two White Lights episode.
Oh my word!
Some of them are very consumable, and some of them are very much like, all right, skip. Like I don't need to listen to like a fourth recap of like a random meet that I don't give a shit about. But when they do get a chance to do interviews, it's always really decent. I used to really like when they would do like a Madden rate. They would have like the powerlifter give themselves like a Madden rating, and then they would give them a Madden rating too. So like your squat, bench, and deadlift from like 0 to 99. Like what do you give yourself? So I always enjoyed that, and Steve was part of that. Steve got into a lot of politic talk. I mean, it kind of is what it is. Powerlifting, and with the USPL and Powerlifting America and IPF and all that shit going on. It's nothing I haven't heard before. It was kind of, funny to listen to him, like, kind of like dumb it down for Tanner and Tommy a little bit sometimes and like put it a little more in layman's terms. It was a combination of two podcasts I really enjoy. but do definitely, give Massonomics the edge. So it's kind of weird that they got the enemy on. I don't know what I can give it this week. This is on the 5 iPod Touches scale, I believe, still. So is there I don't know. Is there a negative iPod Touch? If not, I'll go ahead and give it a 5. Go ahead, five iPod Touches.
Valid score.
You think having that guy on is the enemy? Wait till they get Omar on.
That'll be the day.
Might skip that one.
So, like, I listened to it. It took me a little bit, and my thing did that. Like, Apple did the same thing, where just out of nowhere, there's 30 minutes left, and it was like, "Oh, you're gonna start again?" It did it to me again, and I don't understand how to stop it. But I mean, Joe Sullivan's always a really good interview, right? Like, but he's always in the drama. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Joe Sullivan. It was the other dramatic guy, Steve. So, I don't know.
They actually have big beef between them. It's kind of funny.
Well, but I mean, people.
Joe Sullivan has beef.
Yeah, Joe Sullivan doesn't get on with anyone.
But I mean, it's all the stuff that I try and avoid as much as I can. Is that drama? Is that anything but silly goose time? But luckily, Tanner and Tommy there to totally redeem it. So I'm going to give that 5 iPod Touches.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess that's a good outlook. I did a wild thing with this podcast this week. This week's been a deload for me, and I've just been sludging through workouts lately, and deload was just sludging. And I was like, I walked outside and I saw it was like 2 hours and 30 minutes or more. It was almost an unpaid and underrated podcast length. And I was like, holy cow. I've been like falling behind on a lot of my the shows I listen to, even though there's only one podcast. But I was like, I need to like listen to this while I lift. Like I'm clinically insane. So I threw it on while I was doing my workout Monday morning, and it was great because basically the part where they had the guest on, I was lifting and wasn't paying as much attention. But it was fine because I don't know, I can't follow all of that stuff. There's too much going on. I think Keith just fell out of his chair.
I'm here. It's just a slight technical difficulty.
I didn't know I needed to get you guys chairs delivered as well.
I need to get a row.
I've got a wobbly chair. Have you guys ever seen these? I've been sitting on this ever since we started recording, and it's like it's a stool, but you need to like use your legs to balance. Like you can't like sit cross-legged or anything.
Interesting.
I sit cross-legged like 90% of the time we record.
Yeah. So if you ever see me like wobbling or falling over because this chair just. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, Nate. You're saying?
No, you're good.
Something about iPod Touches.
So I don't know. Overall, I'd give it 5 iPod Touches. Like the Mathonomics Gym ones as well. I think it was very worth it. Speaking of iPod Touches, I saw this gives me an incredible idea. So I saw or not me because I'm not competent enough for this, but I'm putting this out into the universe for Tommy. I saw a designer made like iPhone home screens that were like iPod Classic style, where and then like the time and stuff all fit inside of the top window of like the little iPod Classic. And then he had like, the different colors that iPod Classics came in. And then he had some other versions that he like designed stickers and put it like all over the iPod Classic, like you might do. And I think Tommy should do like an iPod Gym, or not Massonomics iPod Classic lock screen, and then do like little Massonomics stickers on the iPod, and people could use it as a lock screen. I think that would be killer. I could not design that good enough, but Tommy, if you're listening, wink twice. We would like that.
When you listen to this in 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, he listens, but he's a little behind.
When Tommy, he's got a lot going on, Mr. Design Boy.
Busy guy.
Busy guys. He's so busy, you might even think that if he were to fly on a plane, he might fly first class. But if he didn't, I do know someone who did fly first class recently. And that was host of the show, friend of the show, Mr. Big Keith, the Orange Glaze. Why don't you, before you tell us about this experience, how would you rate
flying first class? Oh, it was definitely a 9.5 out of 10.
Whoa, that's the Glaze scale does not have.
Okay, a 9 out of 10 then.
Half points for one.
Oh, yeah, it's true. So, because if anyone gets confused, because when I rate stuff on Instagram, I do give myself the caveat of being able to go a 0.5 one way or the other. because I randomly throw it up on Instagram just as like a story for content or whatever, and everyone's always like, "Oh, that doesn't match the other one." I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. But flying 1 to 10 on only a 1 scale increments.
We're talking about the glaze rating scale is what you're using.
Okay, yeah, I'm using Big Nate's orange glaze pick on Keith scale. Yeah, fuck.
You made this. I asked you explain the ratings. This is your. Don't put this on me.
I thought you created this. The website as a whole, yeah.
And it's more now.
Yeah,
because Tanner used it on.
They did. That made me so happy. Was that? No, that was because I always get confused because I was able to catch because they did a random Tuesday recording this week that I caught like bits and pieces of. So, but yeah, that was my favorite part was listening to harken back to the 5 iPod touches. Yeah, Tanner and Tommy using the orange glaze scale to rate Predator, and Tommy actually rating it the exact same thing that I rated it, so everyone can get off my chops. So that Tommy and I both have the same opinion of Predator, and 7 is not a bad score. 7 is a very good score.
It is completely possible that 2 people at 2 separate times in 2 separate locations of the country are wrong about the same thing. It's completely possible.
It's happened multiple times tonight when you and Nate agreed against something that I agreed the opposite direction with. You fucks.
Anyway, I still want to go back to tell us what it's like to be part of the 1%. How was that experience?
So that was I don't know that I'll ever fly first class again financially because I don't know if I'll ever recover from that. But it was a present for my wife, so thank you, Big Stephanie, for booking that flight for me and the whole crew weekend as a whole. But I mean, flying sucks no matter what. Flying is like a horrible, crappy experience, but she was very awesome and got me the seats. It was a decent sized plane, but it's still like the first class. It was 1 seat on one side and 2 on the other. So she knew I would want the one that was just the one off, so I didn't have to share. Because even in first class, sharing a row with someone isn't going to be great. So having my literal own seat. Just no one around me. I wasn't the first one. I was the second one back. So I didn't have that. I don't know what someone's sump pump just kicked on or something. It sounds like.
Oh, that's a heater in my basement.
There you go.
Oh, well, okay.
There we go. Who has the bad sound quality now? But it was just great, man. Like it different flight attendant. It was kind of because it was a four flights over 3 days or whatever. And like every different, you could tell like how pissy the flight attendants was because some were like bringing you drinks like right off the bat and like be like coming back to you like every 5 minutes and you assigned it. And then I had the lady on my flight back was just like super crabby, like 1 drink and then like I didn't see her again the rest of the 2-hour flight. And I was like, oh, okay. But just the extra space, not having to fight for overhead storage, and then having to worry about getting your bag checked last minute and being like the one asshole that can't find overhead storage for your carry-on if you're like in the back of the plane, basically. So being able to actually being like one of the first 10 people on the flight and being able to be one of the first 10 off was amazing. Like not having to sit there and do the whole like, we're boarding section 1 now we're boarding section 2 and section 3 like that. Section 1, that's me. It's definitely worth it. Is it worth it financially? If it's like 30% more than what your cheap ticket is, do it. If it's like 50%, maybe double, if it's like double, you know what I mean? Like if it's marginally more expensive, it's definitely worth it. But at least do it once, but you will be spoiled because man, it's gonna suck flying next to someone again.
So question, how are we going to get a private jet for us to get to Aberdeen for the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic meet? I think is the real question.
Couple more sponsors for the podcast.
Yeah,
we're going to try to milk a little bit more out of our existing sponsor.
So we could get Spirit Airlines if you're listening and you want to sponsor the Unpaid and Underrated podcast, fly us out. I could definitely. It's like just a couple hops, and we could all meet at Keith's house or something. It'd be great.
Yeah. It's not very far.
So were all of your flights in first class?
On this trip, yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
Man.
It was great. And it was the same seat too, because like she knows how much this is basically it wasn't the same plane, but it was the same layout. So
because he peed on it so that nobody else would sit on it.
I was
left a sticker. This is Keith.
Row 2, seat B, I think, or A, whatever. No, it was 2A. Yeah, because it was A on my side and then BC on the other. So yeah, 2. It was great. So yeah, it was made it so much easier. And it was the first time I ever flew by myself either. Too, first time I really ever traveled by myself without my wife. So that was an experience. So having it be first class really helped because then I didn't have to I was already anxious about traveling and walking through the airport and finding my terminal and all that shit. And then they changed literally every flight, they changed what terminal it was 10 minutes before you had to board. It felt like it wasn't that way, but there was two that they did change pretty abruptly. So then having that, just not having the extra pressure of oh, is this flight gonna suck? Am I gonna be crammed next to three people that are actually bigger than me somehow? Nope. It was just as convenient as could be.
Just Keith on his own.
It was pretty much. It was the way to do it.
Solo man. Yeah, first class has always been interesting. When I went to Europe, my senior year at high school, I did not fly first class. But I walked the international flights first class seats look wild. Cause I've flown on, I've flown to New Mexico or where else have I flown to? No, I think we bussed to Canada. Yeah, we bussed to Canada when I've been a couple times. But I've seen standard, pretty close first class seats, and I'm I don't know why I would pay for extra money for that. But when I saw the ones for international flights, I was one, those have to be $1 million. They look incredible. But I was that is probably worth the money. Because flying
turn into a bed and stuff too, I think, right?
Yeah, because flying from Chicago O'Hare to London in a chair that doesn't really lean back is not the best. To be fair, it's not an exciting time. But hey, you got there. So speaking of places we've gone, Joey, you went some places. You did some things.
Saw some stuff.
You saw some things. You lifted some things. You put them back down. You had a hat on. You took the hat off. Very abruptly. Confused announcers with said hat.
Yeah, I was told I couldn't wear it. Yeah. You're talking about my meat on the weekend. Yeah. My big meat.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it big?
Not to be confused with Keith's 20 meat sticks that he was excited about. But how was your single meat
stick?
I was listening to that, and as soon as I heard it, just meat in the background. Oh my god! And me and Nate dying. Hilarious.
It was very good.
It was my second meet in this place for WRPF. And it was Liftmas. But yes, you cannot wear a Christmas hat while you lift. They will not allow that. So that's why I had to come out and take it off before I touched the bar.
Can you wear any hat?
No. No hats in that fed. So that is why I came out, took it off, and threw it on the ground, because they told me, no, we'll red light you or make you take it off before you lift. I asked. Did all right, went 8 for 9. First time I've squatted, so it was my first full power.
Nice.
But going into it, I'm using Juggernaut, and I kind of recalculated the day before. And as you guys recall, I was really sick last week. So all of my peaking lifts were while I was sick. So I went from a 340 max attempt on squat down to 325. And I got it easily. I kind of regret not going a little higher on that one. And then bench, during warm-up, I said to Steve, because you remember Big Steve, also crew member, he was there with me. I looked at him and I said, these aren't going well. My shoulder and my pecs are not happy right now. And that was during the warm-up.
Yeah.
So got my second attempt, and then I said, fuck it, go to 180 pounds, because my bench is trash. And Steve was like, that's too high. I was like, yep, but I'm either going to do it or not. And I did not. But he says I should have went up 2.5 instead of 5 kilos. But I was like, no, I'm here to fail this attempt. If it goes up, great. If not, I don't think I would get even what I just did again. And then deadlifts. You guys know me. Deadlifts were great. I actually gave up some weight on those just for the sake of having fun.
Yeah, the one I saw moved like butter.
Yeah, that was 441. And yeah, the Juggernaut thought I was going to do 465. And then when I recalculated, it dropped me down to 441. But again, being sick, not eating,
yeah,
forcing hydration in myself. I made weight too. I went at 74 kilos. So that was nice. one fun thing, and I guess it's like I did think about this. Keith, you would hate me at meets. You are
Oh
not.
yeah, no.
Yeah, you are not
Like
gonna like me at the Lift Hard, Live Easy.
from what I saw in your story and what I saw in the comments on our thread, I was like, I agree with the other people that you're disagreeing with like
Yeah.
99% of the time when
Yeah.
it comes to anything meat related
Oh
and your
God.
opinions on them and my opinions on them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like it's not to say that they're bad people or wrong or anything, but like I'm there to have fun,
Yeah. No, I get
right?
it.
And people are they're not. And I don't want to I'm not going to, name any specific things or specific stories, but like when you're doing like a 30-person meet, you don't need a fucking photo like your own photo crew, right? Like some of this stuff that was going like people were
But did those people bring like did one random person hire someone or did the meet director offer photo packages and people just bought into it
so
because
there was a photo package.
okay.
Well, and then like the photo stuff in the corner with like the hood up and the headphones on and you're in the zone and you're like I'm never gonna get along with that. That's not at all what I'm doing when I go to a meet. I was doing shots in the back. I cracked a beer, I was eating sandwiches, and then I went out and fucking ripped it, and it was great. Like every time I'd go out, I'd be grooving, right, just dancing. I think at one point, right before my squat, I started dancing and singing "Don't shit on the platform, don't shit on the platform." And so like the judges are dying, the meet director's laughing, a couple other us are having fun, but like I can see how people get annoyed with that kind of thing. So sorry, I'm here to have fun, strong and silly.
So I've been thinking about how to phrase this, but I think the end point is I want to run a social experiment where Joey is Keith's meat handler and Keith is Joey's meat handler and just create like a documentary
No,
would be our worst meets
experience.
ever.
I would love
I would leave
so much.
We'd both bomb out and get DQ'd for sure and like
No.
punch each other. It'd be
no,
so bad.
I think I would be
So bad.
fine because I would just stop paying attention to you.
Well, yeah, but then I would have to
And-
physically remove you from my way to make
Yeah.
it to be able to like
If it
enjoy
was-
my day.
If it was the other way around, like if you were my handler, I'd be like, "Yeah, you're shit. Get out of here." But if I was your handler, you'd just be mad and like give
Oh,
up
yeah.
on the whole meet. Yeah,
It would be bad.
I'm gonna make it work.
silly vibes only.
No, I
How
didn't.
big?
Yep.
Big Steve competed, right?
Yes,
Yeah. How
It
do you
seemed like
do?
he did well.
he did actually pretty good. He was kind of bummed that he messed up some of the conversions.
Mm.
And I think he undershot his squat like 100 pounds. Like he was pretty pissed about that.
Wait, do you guys
Oof.
train in pounds?
I
Like,
do.
is he-
No,
okay,
he
so-
trains in kilos. So
Oh,
I don't
was it a pound meat then?
no, it was a kilo meat. I don't know what happened, but I think
Keith would love a pound meat.
Yep. he did his he did his second attempt and he walked out and he was like, that was too light. And then he kind of did the math and he was like, oh no, like I should be going way higher than that. And then he murdered my bench. And then I think he did about the same as me on deadlift. So for his first meet, he did great.
Oh, nice.
There was just, there's always the technical stuff that when it's your first meet, you're just not ready for. Even like my third meet, I was still like, oh, your hand slid a little on your squat. Like we could have red lighted you. And I'm like, what? Like I didn't even feel that happen. So, your sleeves can't touch your singlet.
Yeah, your socks can't
Right.
touch your knee sleeves. Or something.
Yes. And that was one of those, like, they gave him a bit of a slap on the wrist for that one. So that was only it. I think he had fun and I definitely think he wants to do it again. Having my kids there was amazing. Saga fell asleep, but Oren was just like, he wasn't all that excited, but whenever I came out, he'd be excited. Or whenever Steve came out, he'd be excited. So they've never been to a meet. My wife has never watched me compete. And she said that, in case this is your last one, I want to be there because she
Nice.
won't be in South Dakota. Steve's family was there and now his kid wants in.
Oh, cool.
And I think
That's
she's
awesome.
like 14. So we're going to have to work that out together.
Send it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was really good. It was really fun. And then it was also my birthday weekend. So naturally started drinking pretty early. Did the whole powerlifting meet. Everything was fine. And then I went to play with Oren and I went to suplex him. We were having a suplex kind of fun thing. And I told him to tuck in his chin so that he didn't like land with his back arched. Instead, he bucks his legs and sprains my fucking pinky finger.
I remember you saying that.
So I got through this entire meet without hurting myself, and my 4-year-old sprains my finger directly afterwards.
Welcome to fatherhood.
Yeah, so I'm just running around with this big swollen pinky in pain. I can't grab the bar or anything. So that was it. And then we drank way too much. Ugh. Yeah. And then now it's now. Then I'm back to work and hate everything.
No, I think I watched your deadlift with my oldest, and I was like, look, Theo, it's Big Joey. And he's like, whoa.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure when I put my youngest to bed today, they have this bit where they like to call me the wrong name. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure he said good night, Big Joey, and I was like,
good. Good night.
Or no, he's my middle child. My youngest is 4 months old. That wouldn't make any sense. He can't speak.
So they get it from you because you don't know your kids apart. Then sounds
yeah.
Like. Maybe it's just returning the favor.
It's part of being a dad. Sometimes I call my oldest my brother's name. I'll just be like, Jonathan, stop that.
Yeah.
Like, wait.
One time I was trying to talk to Saga to get her to stop something, and I called her my cat's name that's been dead for like 6 years. I was like, you're not my cat. And Morgan looked at me, she's like, dude, go to bed. Like, what's wrong with you?
No, that's just like every other word out of my mouth is one of my children being the wrong name.
Yep.
I'll be like yelling at one of them, hey, don't do that. And they're just like sitting quietly in the corner. They're like, we're fine. What's wrong? I'm like, oh, sorry. I don't know who I'm upset with right now.
Hey, this skinny cans fit in the new ones, the Lichard Live
really?
Easy ones. Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that.
It's not ideal, like it's not snug, but it's not snug as a bug in a rug.
You'd need to wrap that with a drink spotter just for extra safety, probably.
Ooh, drink spotter talk.
All right. Well, anything else to wrap up your meet?
Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna try and do another one. I might travel for this one. Right, I might do one not at that gym. I love that gym. Actually, there's a guy there, Robin. He's the Power Daddy on Instagram, and he matches me a little bit on the silly scale.
Silly scale.
When I went out for my third squat,
is it a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 5 scale?
Yeah. Can you explain the silly scale for us? And is that compete? Do I need to make a website for that as well?
No, it's a spectrum. It's not a scale. And he's like, I'm sitting there getting pumped. I think that was when I was like doing the don't shit on the platform dance, right? And then suddenly Creed Higher starts blasting. And I hear Robin in the back behind the laptop, Joey, I put this on for you. Because he follows me on Instagram. That was really, really funny. And then another person I knew, I could hear in the back yell, who the hell put on Creed? It was really nice to have Robin there, just kind of, imagine the silliness.
It's good.
But next one, yeah. I probably got one more in me before July. I hope.
Jesus, that's a lot of meats. Yeah, but
wait, you're going to get another one in before July?
Why wouldn't you? July's like 6 months away.
Most meats sell out like months in advance too, depending on where you're at.
We'll figure it out.
I was gonna say like Niagara, like we could do a meet together in Niagara Falls at some point, but all his shit sells out pretty early, and I don't think he's only doing like 2 meets this year because he's doing a bunch of travel meets.
Joey's an influencer. People pay him to be in their meets.
I was
called
put on my own meet
this week sarcastically by someone.
Me too. Oh yeah, your Instagram.
Yeah. On my gym page, some kid got butthurt that I won a giveaway from Gluck's gym because like Gluck's my buddy and he's like Domator here. So then the kid was like, "Oh, great, another quote unquote like literally quote." He literally put it in quotations. Influencer won. He was just trying to like jab at like friends giving friends prizes, but it's like, well, I legitimately won. Like I was like picked out of a drawing, you fuck. So. But
also like, you're an influencer, and then I was doing a video for a super secret video that we're working on at IKEA. And I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Like, I'll just do something there. And I explained to Morgan what it was. And she's like, oh, so I can put you on Influence in the Wild. And I was like, fuck. I was like, now I don't want to do it.
You either live long enough to.
Yeah.
What's that? I always mess the Batman.
The Batman thing.
You live long enough to see yourself become the villain or die as a hero or something.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. It only takes all 3 of us to get it.
Yep. That's why we're all here.
That's why I'm here, because we can't get Batman quotes right, and we can't figure out how to record
Can't get Matt
podcasts.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder how Matt's doing.
He's probably just trying to figure out how to get back on here.
I don't know how the hell he's going to start his own fart podcast if he can't figure out how to figure out this Zoom call that he's, been invited on.
Local recording. He'll use local recording probably.
That's the ticket. That's the ticket.
For the listening audience, I got a middle finger from Big Keith on that one.
I hate you guys.
Keith, I want to get to your Crew Falls recap, but I threw a couple things in the show notes because I'm taking over now. And two of those things, one of those, I don't know, we don't have to talk about this if you guys don't want to.
Good.
But it's just something that I've noticed as of late with Eddie Hall and his like Instagram presence. Do you guys follow Eddie Hall? If not,
No, I do. I feel that I don't pay attention to his Instagram, but his YouTube quality of content has not become my cup of tea the last couple of years. Pretty much, it's just like been more hoaxy and like, how can I get more views, and just not really provide good content anymore. I don't know.
Well,
I did follow him and then I unfollowed him.
I think I might have actually unfollowed him on YouTube, to be honest with you.
I think I unfollowed him on Instagram because, I mean, he's Eddie Hall. He's the greatest, right? But, like, he's just doing, silly things like pranks and react videos and things like that. So,
well, he's been doing this just, it's like a cycle for him. And of, like, video of girl like doing something provocative in the gym and then like like or something and then like walks up and like smells it or licks. I
don't appreciate that. That's kind of douchey.
It's just been like everything he creates is like finding a new one of those videos and then doing the same. It's like churning it out like clockwork. And I've just been like, what is going on? But like I saw one the other day that was kind of funny, but he like drove like the world's smallest car through a gym and was like trying to work out while being in this tiny car, which was kind of funny. But like anytime I've seen him do like the whole like lick things, smell things videos, I'm just like, what do people think about this? And it's all just like people just destroying him in the comments. And I'm just like, why is he like, I mean, obviously the comments help, like positive or negative, they help interaction and whatever, the algo. But I'm just like, I don't understand why this is the only thing this guy wants to create anymore. If it's just whatever gets my name out, I don't know. I was curious if you guys had seen that, and it seems like you guys both had the same feeling I did. We're just like,
I think I unfollowed it the first time I saw it. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm not that interested in this car. Like, no.
Yeah, because he hasn't done anything.
Like I think he retired from.
Well, he retired, but
and they did the boxing match thing. Got his, didn't he rip his? Oh yeah, was he the one that
he ripped
his
it,
bicep, and then he got his ass kicked like 6 months later, and then Thor ripped his pec another 6 months later, trying to get back into strongman and powerlifting.
Which is interesting. I mean, that strongman thing. I mean, he's competing at the Arnold. I am interested to see what that ends up looking like for Thor, competing back at the Arnold.
He was in that shitty movie I watched last week. The Kickboxer Retaliation.
I saw you.
Hathor?
He was in that movie. I was like, I saw your rating, Keith, and I was like, Keith, this has like Mike Tyson and Hathor and Jean-Claude. Like, how did you give this a 4? And then I started watching it, and I was like, oh, that's why. This movie sucks.
What was that called?
Kickboxer 4.
Yeah, Kickboxer Retaliation.
Kickboxer 4, but yeah. It's one where Jean-Claude actually plays like he's not the character. Was it Chris Dukes? What's his no, that was from the other movie from.
No, he was the same guy. He was DuPont.
They made it sound like he was the guy that was the Asian guy in the first movie. He was just him. But
he was still the same character.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure they made it like a revamp. But nonetheless, it was not a good movie.
It was shit. I thought it was so fun. I miss Tony Jaa. I was watching The Expendables, and he showed up in it, and like he's clearly not in the shape that he was back when he did like The Protector or all of those Ong Bak movies. But they tried, so cool for them. But like Tony Jaa, I miss that dude.
I think there was even like a 5th one, or that one was the 4th one, and there was a 3rd one, and I watched them all, and I was like, just because I watch a lot of the movies, and I was like, this wouldn't. Well, I watched 75% of them at least.
Yeah.
So I have consumed pretty much most of the ones that had Jean-Claude in them.
Dude, there was a trailer. I'm trying to find it. I think it was called. I think this is it.
It is one of those parts that you're talking about that we have to edit out where
Yeah, we can't see what you're looking
randomly talking about stuff, and the audience is just like, Jesus, we don't listen
No,
to this.
I'm trying to figure out if this is it or not. I'm watching it, the trailer run on IMDb right now. So I remember seeing this on like Twitter or whatever. It's a movie that Thor was in, and but it was the worst looking trailer I have ever seen in my life. And it was just like Thor had like a bunch of lines in it, and everyone was like, there's zero delivery. Like it was very bad. And I think this is it. I'm watching the trailer right now, and
curious if it was a pre or post Bell's palsy.
I think it was it was pretty. It was
someone recent, because he's been doing acting for like a decade.
No, it was like, I think this is it. It's called Pharaoh's War.
I've never heard
it's got
of that.
What's that dude's name? Mike Tyson, Hathor.
It's the same movie.
Yeah, it's just a different name for the same shitty movie.
Well, that's what I was like. Wait a second, is that the same one I remember seeing? Yeah, that must be it. Because, oh wait, is it Kickboxer Retaliation?
Yes.
I don't know. No, this isn't. I don't think that's the same one. This looks exactly the same though. What are movies?
They all sound the same to most of us.
It's all the same to me.
Yeah, it's all the same to me.
Movies.
Oh. Should we hit him with an ad?
Yeah, let's hit him with an ad.
Yeah, what do you got for us?
I'm going to do Barbell Rescue today. Their mission is to revolutionize barbell maintenance by providing gym owners and fitness enthusiasts with superior cleaning solution. Their innovative 360-degree nylon cleaning brush is designed to enhance the longevity and performance of barbells. Their commitment is to ensure every barbell is in peak condition, promoting a safe, hygienic, and effective training experience. Just like Tanner did, you can use code UNPAID and save 10% on your barbell rescue. I do believe they're customizable colors, and I'm sure we'll hear a bit of a review on it this week from them as well. So don't forget about Barbell Rescue. I think I'm going to order one pretty shortly. I think if I do well this month, I might end up buying a deadlift barbell. So
nice. We got a little stocking stuffer for yourself.
Stuffer for myself. Yeah.
It's on my Christmas list. I put it on my Christmas list that my mom was like, "Hey, what do you want?" And I like put that on there with the promo code on it. And I was like, "Make sure you use this code."
Nice.
Thanks, Barbell Rescue. I appreciate your support.
Yeah. So far, I've got 3 purchases. 2 were Carp and 1 was Tanner. So keep using the code, guys. We appreciate it.
Code. You don't want a dirty barbell. You don't want it.
Absolutely not.
And you don't want to pay full price for the thing that's going to clean your barbell.
We in the back offices of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast, we put pencil to paper, and we understand that you can't afford to not use this code with the savings that you'll have.
All right. What is it? So what is a Rouge artillery mug?
Hey, Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue. Oh. I cannot ever type Rogue correctly.
You did spell it wrong. Good catch, Joey.
Yeah.
Nice. My brain just read it as Rogue because I knew
when I
no, I was not letting anybody get away with that.
And you were correct.
When I'm on as a real guest and you guys slide into everyone's DMs, we can talk about my brother's best man speech at my wedding and all of the spelling mistakes he called me out for. There's some good ones in there.
Love a good best man speech.
Yeah, so Aleko or whatever, Aleko, however you want to say it, Coop's favorite.
He was just there.
I know. Keith, how do you know? You shouldn't even be following this.
I did not watch the video yet, but I might consume it at some point if I'm bored.
Yeah, so Aleko made their like heavy mug or whatever April Fool's joke, then made it a real thing, and it sold out in like seconds, and they did a second batch and that sold out or whatever. I think Big Luke got one. But this week, Bill, however the heck you pronounce his last name, Keith, go ahead.
I believe it's Hennen. Is it fuck? Now you got me. It's Henninger or Henninger, but it's some combination of Henninger or
Dylan Dam.
Yeah, there's a lot of letters in there. But yeah, they're they're making more or less the heavy mug, but it's going to be rogue, and it looks like an artillery shell. It looks like. Have you guys seen it? Did you guys see it?
I did not actually. I'm surprised I didn't see that because I follow like
Keith.
Rogue,
I expected
Bill,
you
and Bill's wife, so I'm surprised I didn't. I've also worked a lot this week and haven't been on my phone very much, so
people.
I was just super glad that the guest we had lined up, that I invested all this time in research and had this entire like 3-page show notes that every spare minute that I did have, I had filled with Big Mac questions from all his loved ones and good info, and he couldn't figure out his damn internet.
What loved ones? Loved ones.
That's true. Just the crew probably.
Yeah. Well, dang it! I was hoping it looks ridiculous.
I was in the middle of looking it up and I got sidetracked.
You need to find it. Find it while I stall for time. I'll describe it visually to the users because I also couldn't find it.
I thought I saw a meme about it. I was just looking for it, and no, I didn't.
But it looks like the Eleiko mug, but then it has a gigantic cone on top. I mean, it looks like an artillery shell almost. But I'm just like, I don't like the heavy mug. I get it. Like you could kind of put that in places. This thing, I don't even know if you could put it on like a bookshelf. As everyone's looking for it, they can't find it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm even looking on like the home gym community to see if someone.
Dude, look at Bill's Instagram.
Well, everything would be a story that's expired, not a fucking.
No, I think he posted it. I've seen it in a feed. Whatever.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, wow. That looks like a fucking thermos that like tapers at the top. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't know what you would do with it.
I kind of like.
I don't get it. And I mean, if you're like military, dude, I get it. Like,
well, the thermos, it goes inside of the cup. Like the top part just completely slides inside the male into the female, or whatever the kids say.
Big butt plug looking thing. If you actually use it, if
you put that in your butt, you would die.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why Big Mac couldn't figure out the audio tonight. He was occupied.
Wow.
What? It doesn't make any sense.
It's funny though. No, I really don't get it. Like, I get the mug part, but then throwing the shell on top of it, and then if it's just decorative or not functional, because at least the other ones are like functional mugs, and like there's all these other people that have been doing like Yetis with like a nice knurled handle and stuff. Like JD Gym Equipped had something like that, but I'm trying to grasp what Bill was trying to get from this.
Sornex just dropped a knurled shot glass.
Now that would actually be in.
I think it's like a 2-ounce like little
like a metal shot glass that's knurled. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I kind of want to get one to brew espresso into if I ever brew espresso at home. Looks sick though. I always wanted to get like the Rogue knurled rings. I think they're cool.
Like the wedding band. We got a keychain from Home Gym Con that was from that same company, JD Gym Equipped. It was just it's literally just like about the size of like a barbell, but it's just like a hollow ring that's knurled on the outside. It's just a key ring. It's actually pretty cool though.
It's cool.
It was.
You would ruin the knurling on a key ring though. All right. Well, there's our heavy mug talk.
That's our Rouge mug talk.
Yeah,
Rouge.
It's all lipstick and rouge, I guess. But
Mulan and whatnot.
I don't get what Bill's doing with that. I'm at a loss for words.
Dude, riding the hype train. I mean, Eleiko copied Abmat, so I mean,
I get the mug thing and just the whole like throwing a shell on it and then making it like, for anyone that didn't see it, the top shell part is literally the exact same or bigger than the mug itself. So it turns something that's like 6 inches into like a foot. So I don't know what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I think my 4-year-old's up.
Uh-oh.
Baby monitor's clicking. But hey, we'll move on. My wife is en route.
My wife. Oh,
my
that's
wife.
the other thing I forgot to say. When it was filling out the waiver form for the meet, they ask you for your emergency contact.
Oh, God.
So I put Morgan, I put her phone number, and then they say relationship to lifter. So I wrote in giant capital letters, my wife.
Funny.
So during weigh-ins, I was just like, Steve's like, what? I was like, I wrote my wife. And you hear Robin in the back go, ha, my wife. Right, I knew that it was going to be a good meet.
Oh, nice. You get thumbs up from Zoom for that. That was perfect timing.
Because I was doing thumbs up.
I don't know. I don't.
Oh, it
yeah.
was.
Okay, it was. I just.
Oh, I hate this.
Yeah.
You can turn it off.
What if I do this?
Yeah, you got the heart.
Oh, we got the love.
This is fantastic.
Nice.
If all the
We're-
power now.
30 some episodes in, and we're just now figuring out what Zoom can do.
It's because Nate's here.
Look, you can
Yep.
enable microphones.
Yep,
You can get
enable microphone, yep.
visual feedback that's entirely useless.
Yeah, that was pointless.
Speaking of fantastic things, can you tell us about your experience with 20 meat sticks? 20 meat
Dude.
sticks this weekend.
Crew Falls was amazing. Like, I know everyone like gives me shit and like thinks I'm a gatekeeper or something, but if you missed Crew Falls, man, you fucked up. It was amazing. If you were, I get it was a very expensive trip. Anyone that had to fly in, yeah, don't fly in. If you were 2 or 3 hours away and you weren't able to make it, man, like that sucks because it was awesome. It was a blast. Flew out of Rochester Friday morning, got to Sioux Falls, aka Crew Falls, lunchtime. Big Grayson picked me up. Actually met up with the 2 West Virginia boys. Fuck, I know their names, but for some reason, Stu
Wow.
and oh my god, that is so frustrating. There's literally in my phone too. They're like my friends.
Well, if you're listening,
They're
Travis
like
and-
my friends.
They're
Yeah.
like my friends. No,
Emphasis on the like.
yeah. So Travis and Big Stewart, I met them. They flew out of Pittsburgh, and well, I got into Sioux Falls like an hour or two before me, and we're already drinking. Grayson picked us up. We went and met Big Tommy and Big Colton, at a burger place. You know, had a decent little lunch there. Everyone kind of went their separate ways. Went and checked back into the hotel. Kind of called it a night. Did end up going back out briefly that night for a very unorganized crew meetup. Big Matthew picked me up. We went on a wild goose hunt to try to find the right bar because he had the wrong place in Google Maps, and went to like some dude's house. And then by the time we finally got to the place, I thought it was gonna be a restaurant. It turned out to be a lot more bar than restaurant. And here I am like starving because hadn't eaten since like noon, and it was like 9 o'clock at night. And we ended up going to another place. Got some food. Met up with Big Mason and Big Paul. Got some food. Had a good night. Called it a day. Well, I woke up bright and early Saturday at I don't know. I think I was up at like 4 or 5 o'clock, and I think I sent a message to the chat just being all excited to start the day, or on Discord. And this caught me off guard because later that day someone said, "Yeah, Keith's message at 4 a.m. woke me up," and I'm like, who the fuck has their phone not on vibrate? Who has their phone? Who has Discord not completely like disabled for notifications? Like I don't.
That's
have any
on you.
Yeah, I felt bad for like an eighth of a second, and then I was like,
wait a second.
That's not my fault that your phone made it like people are talking on there 24/7. It's not like are you getting woke up 24/7 by message? I mean, so maybe he had Discord unmuted specifically for the weekend because he was in Crew Falls. Like but I don't know. Nonetheless, that kind of threw me off. Got picked up and went to the original Pancake House Saturday morning. Big Grayson and Big Hannah picked us up, and 3 of us had to fit in the back of Grayson's car, which is a very uncomfortable ride. He had a Kia,
The back of a Volkswagen?
Yeah, it was very small. So like 3 230-pound plus dudes, just like shoulder to shoulder. Like I had the Stuart was in the middle on the hump, kind of leaned forward, and I had to like almost put my arm around him just to like not get like a cramp. It was so bad.
Should have like laid across.
Yeah, it was brutal. But we got to the Pancake House. Probably had to wait about 20 minutes, half hour or so, maybe till we got seated because it was just so crowded. We were like, I think we were basically a 20 top. So just took a while to get a seat.
So, question about the pancake place.
Yeah.
So this is the original Pancake House.
Supposedly, I think I even asked like, is there others, and I couldn't get a solid answer. I think it is a chain. It's just called the original Pancake House. Okay. It is a chain, but don't quote me on that.
Because I was like, is this IHOP? And then I saw the picture. Like I was like, are they just talking about IHOP? And then
no.
I saw the pictures and I was like, this place looks nicer than an IHOP.
For sure. Like, on the orange glaze scale, IHOP is like a 3. Original Pancake House was like now that I got to ride the line between
the 5 egg omelets. Don't forget.
I might give it an 8. Yeah, an 8 is extremely high praise for food for me. So
Michelin star near level restaurant right here from Keith.
It was just cool, like getting there, seeing all the crew that I hadn't seen before. Tanner was there, so it's the first time I've seen Tanner since July. Had already seen half the guys the night before, so there was maybe 5 or 6 people that I hadn't seen yet that day. Met Big Nate Mo for the first time in person. It was kind of ironic because we just literally had interviewed him like 3 days before, so it was kind of like I felt like I already knew him because we literally just talked to him for 2.5 hours, like 48 hours before that, I think. Uh, just a lot of people, man. It was awesome. Not everyone made it to breakfast. I want to say the Nate Thomas and his wife Abby did not make it for breakfast, and a couple other people didn't make it for breakfast. I can't remember who all it was, but I met Big Trond, Tanner's high school buddy. He was a hoot. It was kind of funny because if anyone following Discord remembers, like there was like almost like a fake rivalry between me and him because Tanner, Tanner puts up I got one of these shirts left, and it was a large hoodie, and Trond had said something to the effect of like, "Oh, I'll take it," but in the meantime, I had already like bought it for Stephanie, and then he was like, he wasn't upset by any means. It was just kind of we were jabbing back and forth about it, and he like when he introduced himself, he's like, "Oh, I guess we're sworn enemies," so it was just hysterical because it's like instantaneously you're meeting these people, and you just feel like you just your best friends, you already know each other, and on a much smaller scale from what the Lift Hard was. We've already done Lift Hard. Most of us had already done Lift Hard, so like the level of ice breaking was like already done. Like it was just the couple people. I think I met 4 new people this weekend, maybe 4 or 5. I'd have to look at the picture, but it might not even been that many. And I think there were a couple people that were at like Big Matthew was at the Lift Hard Live Easy, but I never actually talked to him. Big Alec was at the Lift Hard Live Easy. I never actually talked to him. So I consider myself, I actually met them this weekend. So including those guys, yeah, 4 or 5, 3 or 4 people I met for the first time, but it was just so much more like an intimate isn't the right word because it wasn't romantic, but it was intimate. Like it was just such a smaller thing. So yeah, Pancake House, amazing food, great food. By the time this comes out, there should already be a recap video where Tommy had some fun with me because they brought out a platter of a literal like the biggest, like think of like the biggest Thanksgiving serving platter you could have, and it had like 20 racks of butter and 20 racks of syrup on it, and she fucking sat it right in front of me because I was just like I was basically the center of the table kind of, and I was like right next to Tommy, and he was just giving me shit like the whole morning about like you got enough butter and syrup there, big guy, or something like that. I was like, and here I am like I'm like handing them out like they're shots because it's like just so much butter, and I felt bad because like we probably only used like a third of the plate, maybe half. So it's like there's so much wasted butter and syrup. But I don't know. There was a 5 egg omelet and 3 pancakes for like $20, pretty much like out the door. It was so good, and I've never heard of a place like their stock omelet is 5 eggs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I had the bacon omelet, and the bacon was like it wasn't like really thin overly cooked like just crappy bacon like Big Matt probably makes. It was like really nice, like thick, juicy bacon. So I very much enjoyed that.
Then Grayson still added a patty.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was funny because the burger place we had went to Friday, I guess Grayson was there the day before and did order a double patty, but for lunch the next day, he stuck with the one patty. So he definitely got some jabs about the birthday and the double patty and wasabi and guacamole. Like there were so
spicy
many,
guac.
Yeah, there were so many people that had like quick one-liners, just chirping at each other. It was great all weekend.
And would you say that kind of like having been on our podcast made that a little easier, made that kind of a lubricant? That because you said it wasn't intimate because it wasn't, but probably a little more comfortable because these aren't strangers you're meeting that you've talked to on Discord. These are people that you've talked to now for hours at a time.
Yep. Yeah, I think if I looked at the picture, was there 7 previous, like I think counting Tanner, there were 7 people that had been on the podcast. So I think 6 full interviews and then a couple guest appearances by, Big Tanner. So yeah, the people that were there, 50% of the people that were there. It was because like including me and Tanner, 50% of it was 9 out of the 18 people maybe I think had some appearance on the podcast, and the rest, and there were another 4. I think I have 4 more scheduled in the coming months of people that were there too. So that was another benefit is I was able to like literally hand 2 or 3 people my phone and say, please pick a date. Like, I want you on the podcast, pick a date.
Yeah.
None of this back and forth on Instagram. It's like, I'm right here right now. Like, just which one of these dates in the next couple months works for you? It's like, oh, so we got to, we got some bangers lined up in the coming months for everybody.
Yeah, I saw that. Tell me about getting the camera kicked out from Plank or whatever.
Oh,
that was called.
That jumped forward all the way to the end of the night. I was not there. So whatever you read in Discord from Big Paul doing the recap was all the knowledge I have. Because we went from Pancake House to Jonah Leo's gym, got an awesome lift in. Like, that was the highlight. Like, as cool as everything else was, like we were at the gym for like 3 hours probably between, getting there and by the time we left, it might have been closer to 2.5, but nonetheless, it was like a full long training session. A lot of us hopped in, almost 20 people. So, we took over the one open combo rack, the 2 open deadlift platforms, a squat rack, and another bench press, I think, because obviously he has regular gym members. So I think one of the squat racks and one of the combo racks were already, being used. So we had like 7 or 8 guys on one of the combos benching. So it was just kind of cool. Like Tommy was in our bench rotation, and then like 6 other crew. So it was just really cool to be like, oh, yeah, I'm just, these are my buddies. We're just benching. A lot of people worked up to some big PRs. I had a couple of little baby PRs, and everyone kept on having me go up. And I was like, I'm just here to have fun. Like, I don't want to hurt anything. I was trying to do some rep work and like try to hit like a rep PR, but my freaking knee was destroyed. And I know people were like, oh, well, you're benching. What's your knee have to do with it? Like, try to do leg drive for like 8 reps. Like, that hurt. I tried to do leg drive for like a triple, and I could like had nothing but pain. So I was like, I'll just do a heavy single, I guess. And, I chipped my touch and go and my pause PR. My goal wasn't to actually get a touch and go. My goal was to pause it, but I had Big Nathan Thomas load it for me blind. Like, so I didn't know if it was like 291 or 297. I had no clue what it was. So I just got so nervous coming down with it that I didn't allow myself to pause it, because I was just like, I wanted to get it up more than I wanted to pause it and like miss, I guess. Or I was just afraid of missing. So I just fucking, I don't know, nervously just, did a very light touch and just flew it up. And it was like fucking RP like 8. So I was kind of annoyed that I didn't pause it, because I know I could have smoked. I could have paused the fucker for like 2 seconds and still smoked it. But it just gave me more confidence going into my next meet and my next big training single day or whatever. So we wrapped up there. The boys did a full tour with Jonah. And there's going to be a sneaky YouTube video coming out with me and Tanner in the coming weeks, potentially. So keep your eyes out for that. And then we did the Costco run, which I still can't believe we went to fucking Costco for lunch. Like, that's just a funny thing. Like, we literally had 20, like 200. We probably averaged 230 pounds. Well, throwing some of the big boys, we might average closer to fucking 270. But there were, just huge grown men and some women walking in there, and Tanner just walked up and got 20 chicken bakes. And it was funny because a lot of us were like, well, it's gonna take like 20 minutes for those chicken bakes to get made. I'm fucking starving and thirsty now, so I went up and grabbed I ordered a like the $1.50 slice of cheese pizza and a fountain drink, and I was the first one to do that, and everyone was kind of like, it was like it snowballed after that to where everybody else started getting their drinks, and like 3 or 4 people started getting like ice cream sundaes and shit and like a slice of pizza before like 20 minutes before the chicken bakes came out. So that was hysterical. And then they put the chicken bakes in pizza boxes. So, Tanner's carrying 3 pizza boxes full of chicken bakes and handing them out like candy. Everyone just had a good time with that. The hardest part was, I was like, man, where the fuck are we going to sit? Because if you've ever been to a Costco in the middle of the day, it's fucking like, there's no room, but one table opened up like right by the food court, like right by the soda machine. So like I sat down on it immediately, and then we just kind of kept like keeping our eyes on it. As soon as like someone was getting ready to get up, there was basically a guy standing there ready to swoop in. So within 10 minutes, we had like the first 4 tables, maybe the first 5 tables, kind of all crew. So there were some good pictures and content of just like all of us just right there in a row, so we didn't have to be too scattered. Got the chicken bakes. Oh, dude, the wind there, like so. I don't think it was windy in July. At least I don't remember it being windy in July, but like we were walking out of Jonah's gym and at least 1 hat went flying, possibly 2. Because I know someone might have actually lost a hat. I know I saw 2 people running for hats that weekend. So
it was Tanner just blowing them off because he doesn't want them to buy hats.
It could be.
It was a fart from his butt.
Yeah. But that kind
propelling
of
that.
it kind of clicked in my brain like, oh, that's what Dakota Breeze, like that's actually what that means. Like I don't think like I think I knew, but it really clicked at that point because I can like I'm visibly seeing like, oh, that is the Dakota Breeze. And
Did it smell like ammonia?
I don't know. I didn't that Nate kept trying to get me to do ammonia that weekend, but I was like, I'm good. I think I've almost like sworn off ammonia until maybe
I'm
a
clean
heavy
for right
deadlift.
now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase. Jack Nate.
Jack Nate.
Yeah.
Jack.
I'll pop the stack here. I want to talk about chicken bakes for a second.
Yeah.
Had you ever had a chicken bake before?
Yeah, I've had them. I've had
Okay.
them multiple times. They're not great.
You don't think that I had the first one, my first ever, like 2 weekends ago.
Okay.
Everyone's talking about how great these macros are, all of this stuff. It's a meal. Like people are using it for a meal prep. I ate one of those and was like, now I have to go eat dinner still. I like didn't feel satiated whatsoever.
And you had the Costco one, not the frozen one?
Yeah, I had the Costco one and I was like, I know how much, like I know what I ate. I don't want to eat more food, but I was like, I need to eat more food. I'm starving.
So I don't think
felt really dumb, but it was delicious. It was delicious.
So if I had to give it a scale, like if you factor in the macros, and okay, so if you assume that the macros are actually accurate, and you factor in the macros and the flavor, it's probably it's at least a 7. I'd want to give it a 7.5. If you factor in just flavor, it's like it's like a 6.
Yeah, I mean,
but if the macros are accurate, maybe you can bump it up to an 8. But I don't know, like we're gonna eat chicken bakes because we're crew, but like I mean, I'll get a chicken bake like once a quarter. You know, I'm right next to Costco. I've been getting chicken bakes. I'm trying to think if I had a chicken bake before the first mention of it in Discord or not, but maybe not, maybe right around the same time. But yeah, now you know if I'm at Costco 5 or 6 times a year, I'm gonna get a chicken bake, like half of those probably, just for like the bit.
Yeah, you kind of have
they're
to.
okay. I mean, they are okay. I think Tanner kind of agreed with me because he did have his first one, and he like what also if when you factor in the fact that it's like what is it $2.99 or $3.99, like they're
it's like $3.99.
Yeah, they're reasonable. If they were $8, they'd be like
yes.
I would never buy one. Like I don't even know if it was it's once you like if it was over $5, I don't think it would be as good. Like the whole concept of it would just not work. But the $3.99 aspect makes it clutch. But then yeah, I think everyone pretty much ate their chicken bake. I think we ordered 20, and there might have been like 1.5 or 2.5 going back because a couple people didn't want to eat them. But for the most part, everyone pounded them down.
Dang.
And then I think we did a very quick intermission because we didn't do so that lunch was like. But I don't think we got to Costco till like 2 or something. Like it was pretty late, or at least we didn't eat till 2. So by the time we got back to the hotel Saturday at like, I think I got to the hotel at 3-ish, and then we had to be at dinner at like 5:30. I was like, fuck. It's like here I am like smoked after my workout. Like I didn't have time to like that's why I don't think I posted my lifting like actual like post until like a couple days ago because I was like I got barely enough time to keep up on some stories. I don't have any time to edit videos and like actually like make my Instagram post like I normally do. So spent a couple hours at the hotel, and then it was time to go back out for dinner, which I don't think anyone was hungry. We went to some random place. We had actually really good food, but it was kind of like it's almost like a deli restaurant kind of thing. So like you went and but it was like on a large scale. So like it could feed like 150 people at the same time. So you went and put your order in, and then we went in the back and they brought out the food. We were there for an hour and a half, probably. You know, I'm not sure if everyone actually made it out for that. I think a couple of the guys waited till the drinking to start to make it out. Then we made our way to one of the first bar. We're there for probably an hour and a half. That's where we got the really good picture of like pretty much like 90% of us at the tables. I had a couple tall Michelob Ultras there. Then we went to a little more club-ish scene. I think I had a couple Michelobs there, and 11:30 rolled around, and I started doing my Midwest goodbye because most people had ended up walking. We ended up getting dropped off. Nate and his wife Abby dropped us off, and then they went and parked and walked back, I think. And then I think we got to the second bar. We were like slowly getting back to the hotel that most of us were staying at. I would have loved to stay out later, but man, it was 11:30 their time, and it was 12:30 in my body, and it was like I've been up since 4 that morning. And I was like, oh man, I can basically I can stay and get drunker because everyone was pretty like most people were pretty shitty that like at that point like everyone was like Tommy was drunk off his ass, which was just hysterical. I had a good time with him shooting the shit and having him do a my exit video and like watching him take like a solid 90 seconds to put the camera back together, like fiddling with it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. But I got some good I got a lot of good goodbyes from a lot of people and I don't know. It was just awesome. But the idea of basically having to stay longer and maybe get another hour of drinking in, but then having to potentially walk a half mile with like a painful leg, or have to figure out how to like drunkenly order my own lift for the first time because I've never done that. When I actually rode back with Nathan and Abby, it was the first time I've fucking never had to use public. I've never had to do any of that. I've always either got a ride or had a shuttle or something. So
it's fucking mind blowing to me.
I also want, I just want to travel with Keith. I think that's what I'm learning today is I just kind of want to be a fly on the wall and watch this happen.
Yeah, and I really almost got left too because I was like, well, how long does it take the lift to get here? And they're like literally 90 seconds. And I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, give me 10 minutes and then order it. So and then it was literally, there was 20 of us at the second bar, Lucky's, and we were all fucking like right in a little chunk, like right in front of the bar. So I'm like, but it was kind of divided. There was like, five or, almost 10 people over here and almost 10 people over there. So I had to shake hands and kiss babies and say goodbye to everybody and, get the whole Tanner lean in and tell me how glad he was I came and all that jazz. And then the other side, fucking Bryce and Mason wouldn't let me leave. They kept fucking like pulling me in and they were like, Keith, you can't go anywhere. Keith, you have to stay. Keith.
They could have helped you order a lift. I'm sure they know how.
Oh, but I think one of the funnest part I had too is like half drunkenly recording half drunken people and just trying to get them to say shit about the weekend and not knowing like how good the content was going to be and just being like, oh, I'm gonna have to watch this tomorrow before I do anything with it because I don't know like how shitty people are. Getting
the text from you late night of just like Keith just is sending videos all night of just hey, it's Big Keith here. It's like, yep, I don't know how Keith's gonna use this video, but we have 40 seconds of Keith telling us, hey, it's Keith, and then 10 seconds of, so what'd you think? It's good.
I'm gonna have a heart attack. Oh god.
But
I fucking had like 6 beers. I don't know what the fuck.
Well, yeah, and you're like, I'm 5 beers deep. I don't know if any of this is good. And I was just like, I'm going to bed. And I wake up and there's like 10 more videos, and I'm like, what is going on?
Well, I didn't want to miss the opportunity because I was like, this is going to be, I don't care if I even put it on my own Instagram. Like, this is going to be good content. And
there was I think his name's Big Alec, right?
Yep.
From
he
gym.
had the best one. Yeah.
Him saying, our wives and our girlfriends don't understand it, but we get it. I was like, that's I need that clip, and that's the only clip I need. That's incredible. It's downright awesome.
That was good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I really enjoyed the picture of up Keith's nose. I gotta tell you that like
that was a good one.
When you posted that, I laughed so hard. And then I think one of the Davids memed it.
Yes.
And that's when I think I kind of got, I thought that was so funny because
I saw David's memes of it first, and then I saw Keith's post, and I thought Keith's post was also a meme. And I was like, where's the original picture? I don't understand. And I finally figured it out.
Yeah, I just like, it's like, he's just leaning back and trying to get everybody in. And I was like,
hard, man.
But you just didn't need to be in it. Like, we know you're there. You took the picture.
I wanted it to be for me. Like,
okay.
I think I don't even know if that one made it to unpaid. I was like, I'm also like, I spent $1,000 or more to go have a fun weekend. I want to be in some of the pictures myself.
You need a selfie stick or something then, because it was just really funny. Just this picture of up your nose and then the rest of the gym. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I need Keith to find branded selfie sticks on Amazon he can order himself, so I'll actually keep it with him. Unpaid and underrated selfie stick. Can we get that in the Massonomics store as like a thing people can buy? Can we get branded selfie sticks?
That'd be good. But yeah, that was more or less it. And then it sounded like they went to one more bar that night. And just to recap what Paul had said, they wouldn't let Tommy in with his camera. So they were like, fuck this, we want to come in. So they kind of like went around the block, and Paul's wife put the camera in her purse, and then I think Big Tron put the microphone in his fanny pack, and they were able to get it in. I don't know if they actually gave it back to him inside and he actually did any content in there or not. but at least like he didn't have to like run because I think everyone had pretty much walked from the hotel, so it would have been like a fucking half-mile walk to go put the thing in a locked vehicle. So I honestly don't know if they got any more content or not, but let's see. When I was back at the hotel at 11:30, and I think I saw Mason posting pictures back at his apartment at like 2. So I guess they all probably called it maybe 2 hours after I dipped, and then half hour to get home.
I don't know how you guys do that. My birthday, we started at 6 o'clock. I was in bed by 10:30. Like a mess. Like I came home and I was just laying on the couch on Morgan's lap because the hotel has really small couches. And the curtains were so symmetrical, it was making me dizzy. And I was just like, I never want to be like this again. This was the worst. I don't know how you guys. I haven't been able to drink till 2 since I was like fucking
Not
20.
everyone. I think. Let's see. Big Nate Mo drove back home. Big Jake drove back home because a lot of the guys that like were in lived a couple hours away and weren't staying in a hotel. They were like, "Yeah, I'm not going out to dinner and drinks. Like, I got my bulk of my day in."
Yeah.
Nia, Hannah and her boyfriend Grayson did not come out. I don't think for dinner or no, they came to dinner. They dipped after dinner and went. They did.
How many patties? How many patties did Grayson get?
What did Grayson get for dinner that night? I honestly don't know if they even ate because I think they were still so full from fucking. I know Hannah literally just got like a hot alcoholic beverage of some sort that she was like that like she couldn't drink for like it was I think a hot toddy. So it was some kind of like apple cider, like spiked apple cider stuff with a cinnamon stick in it. But she said it was so hot she couldn't fucking drink it for like a half hour. And she got a slice of key lime pie that she was pretty enamored with. I really don't remember what the fuck Grayson had.
Oh, well, no, it was something with 2 patties on it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I had an amazing freaking. For some reason I ordered a grilled cheese with bacon. It was so good. Like I was so full from freaking the chicken bacon everything at lunch. I just wanted something. Not that like a grilled cheese is light, but it wasn't like a big like steak sandwich or anything like that. But it was pretty good. It was really good food. Everything I ate the whole weekend was freaking good.
I mean, you know what they say about Sioux Falls? It's like the food capital of the world. It's probably like on par with going to like New York or Chicago, Paris.
Anyone flying into Sioux Falls in July that's going to rent a car and go down. Like Sioux Falls, the town I think they said is like 10 times bigger than Aberdeen, but the airport's only like 4 times big. I think it's a 7 terminal, so I guess it's technically 7 times. I'm pretty sure Aberdeen is a one terminal, but just like the airport itself was very small. I had a 12:30 flight. I left the hotel at 10. And I was through security at my gate at like 10:26 or something. And I was like, oh, now I've got 2 hours to kill. Fuck.
Yeah, there's an airport that's like 10 minutes from us. The flights are in and out. You can't get everywhere with there. But it's like maybe 7 terminals. But there's never a line of security. Like you can go like 5 minutes before your flight and just get on. Basically, it's awesome.
I think I got lucky though, because like I looked like there was one person ahead of me at the line, and then when I looked back as I was getting through, there was like 30 people in line. So I was like, I must have just timed it perfectly because like, oh, that might have actually taken an hour, but it only took me 10 minutes to get through. So I was pretty stoked. But all in all, the weekend, definitely give it a 9 out of 10, 100%. Loved it.
Reserved for the top 10%, as the Global says.
How many screens do you have up? You're able to reference so much stuff. I love it. But yeah, I did see a little behind the scenes Massonomics looking. They were because Tommy and Tamer don't live in the same town anymore, obviously, so I don't think they only see each other in person like once a month or every few weeks. So I kind of saw them doing some I can't spoil anything, but they were talking about some upcoming products and whatnot, and because I think I did end up getting a Kruber from Tanner back to the hotel after Costco. And they were in the parking lot just shooting the breeze and kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. Just seeing like a little behind the scenes. But
one might say behind the meat curtain.
Yeah.
Ew.
Good stuff. I think
that's the official, I believe the official terminology per Tanner. Yeah. We have to stay canon here.
But I don't know. I just like feel like I don't look at Tanner and Tommy as like these like people that are like these like mythical creatures online that I hardly ever see. Like I've literally spent a week with them. They're like my buddies now. Like I felt like the way in July a little bit, but like after spending this weekend with them, it was like that much more like, oh, these are actually my friends now. Like these are people I can consider my friends. These
are just my sisters.
Yes, they are my sisters. There was a lot of sister talk. There was a lot.
Easy.
But yeah, that was Crew Falls. Any specifics? I think I covered about all of it, and I tried to keep it. I tried to throw as much on Instagram as possible and tag a bunch of people and shit. But it was a blast. I hope people saw it online and were like, "Damn!" If like one or two people make it out next year, like from like seeing what they saw from all the videos that Tommy's going to put out and all the stuff that we put out on our page, like I think that'd be cool.
Sounded awesome. Looked awesome. Wish I could have been there. I think I mentioned after you had announced that you had received it as a gift, I was like, yeah, Keith's going. And my wife was like, well, how much is it? Cause we, our anniversary's Sunday actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we never know cause it's so close to Christmas and like, we never know what to get each other. And so she was kind of just like, well, maybe I'll just do that kind of situation. And then I kind of broke down the prices and she was like, I don't think you're going.
even flying economy, yeah, you'd be at $800-$900 probably with a hotel and all that.
Well, a couple weekends ago in November, I snuck to New York to see a band called Wolfpack with my buddies, like super last minute, and I think that trip in and of itself costed like $30. So she, it was like last minute. My wife's like, for your birthday, like whatever. I'll try to survive with 3 children at home. The youngest, like not even 4 months old. Go. I was like not in New York for 24 hours. And I was like, I know you're talking about me going to Aberdeen, but you nearly died when I went to New York for less than 24 hours. I don't think it's a good idea for me to fly to Aberdeen. I just don't think that's a good idea. She's like, yeah, actually, you're probably right. But yeah, someday.
So we'll see on what I'm hearing is that's confirmation that the Lift Hard Live Easy 2025 Big Nate will be on the roster.
We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see
you're not going to do. Just are you gonna have a fourth newborn at that point that's gonna keep you from?
We'll also see. That's we'll figure it out.
Everything will be fine.
Yeah, everything will be fine. My wife she was like last year before we knew we were gonna have Louie. She was talking about like renting a camper, like an RV, and doing like a whole road trip across America to get to Aberdeen and stopping all of these places and whatnot, and then going back. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Did you guys see the cigars that Tron had posted? That like they actually say like it was Crew Royale, but like Crew with the umlaut, and like Tanner legit thought that was something he made, and he's like, no, dude, these were like,
was it not?
No, they were like 18, 20 some years old. Like they were produced like fucking 20 years ago. And there was so much talk about like how did they do this? This is ours. Like we created the like Crew with the U and the umlaut, and
we created the umlaut.
Like there was like literal confusion between like Tanner and him having a conversation. It was so funny.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, dang. Actually, like I could see like Tanner like processing like, oh, you did not make those. Like this was something you found, and I think he said he even drove. He said, oh, Tron had a whole thing where like I think he got him from Minnesota, maybe wherever he got him from. It was like an adjoining state, I believe, but he couldn't get them delivered through like the website. He had to go, so he fucking drove like hours out of his way to go pick them up specifically for that weekend. Dang. So like that was impressive, like that dedication.
Dang, committed.
But yeah, it was a blast.
It was a blast. Speaking of blasts, I think we have another sponsor we need to hear from, Obsidian Ammonia. Somebody want to tell me about Obsidian Ammonia?
Yeah, it is this is my first time reading it, so let me see how well I can do this. So, based out of Ontario, Canada, Obsidian Ammonia has become one of there's a typo there. One of the leading names in smelling salts for the lifting community, combining extra strong salts, a passion for the sport, and silly goose marketing plan. Big Travis has become an important part of PRs in the gym across the world. From basic salts that will help you PR and the strongest thing to ever slice God damn it, I'm horrible at this. These salts can. I just did some Obsidian Ammonia, and my eyes are all broke. So, and there's a hypedust.com, and go ahead and use code UNPAID to save 15% on Obsidian Ammonia.
Thanks, Obsidian. I just want to remind the listeners, we also put pencil to paper for Obsidian Ammonia. And the math was a little bit more tricky because there's Canada involved and, conversions, toonies and loonies or whatever. But you still cannot afford to not buy something from Obsidian Ammonia using code unpaid. And that's our official okie dokie. And you could trust us because we know a financial planner. We're very, very prepared to speak on that. All right. So while Keith, I believe I put in our text channel, Keith should wax poetic about the Crew Falls and the great memories he had there. I put together a little game, since Keith, I know you spent a long time preparing for Matt and he bailed on you. I wanted to make your night worth it.
Awesome.
I don't have any meat sticks for you, but I do have a set of topics, wide ranging, for yourself and your co-host, Big Joey, for a little game you might call unpaid or underrated. Are you familiar with this game?
I am. It's a very fun game. I don't think we've been on this side since we've changed it to unpaid.
No, we have not.
Flipping sides tonight. All right. I wrote down a bunch of things. Cause I was really just thinking in all that time that you're talking about Crew Falls.
There's a lot to talk about.
There was a whole weekend.
We usually do 6, so whatever you want to do, though.
I got
whatever you want to give us.
So I did some deep dives. I've got some stuff that's pretty off base. I ran one of them by Joey, and Joey said, "I don't know about that one," so we'll.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna keep it PG-13 here tonight. All right, so our first one. This one's for you, Keith. And the problem is, I'm trying to rack my brain if some of these have already been done with you guys.
Possibly,
but you guys have had,
I mean, if it is one we've heard before, do you want us to just pass because you said you have enough extra, or you just want to?
Yeah, I'll make them up. Shoot,
I don't care.
I can do anything I want.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and let's figure it out.
Yeah, like 60 hours of content on this podcast. Some things gets said twice, no one can catch it.
Is that where we're actually at? 30 times, like probably average 2.
I can get you the official number. In 32 episodes published. Where's the button? Metrics. Total duration 65 hours and 49 minutes.
Nice. That's a good amount of time to come in some ears.
Yeah, that's substantial. It's nothing compared to like 570 hours Massonomics has, but we're getting there.
Well, I swear to God, we are going to beat him in 2024, though. That is my sole goal.
We're going to catch up to 500 hours?
For the rap, I want our Spotify rap basically to, or you don't have to Spotify, but I want us to put out more minutes in 2024 than they do. And I don't think it'll be hard. All we gotta do is just not miss a week, because our average episode has got to be just a hair more than theirs with our longer ones. So
Morgan is cooking something
at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, like because she's making like dessert things, and it smells. It smells like burnt popcorn.
I want popcorn.
It's making me gag so bad.
I can't smell your fart through the microphone, Joey. It's not going to work.
I forgot about that. No, whatever it is, it's actually you'll probably keep like I keep making a face. It's because I'm getting a whiff of whatever's going on in there.
I want some. All right, Keith.
Yeah, what you got?
My first unpaid or underrated topic for you: the Geek Squad. This is in every sense of the way. The topic wasn't just going to be technology in general, but we specified it to Geek Squad.
I like that one. Someone did their homework. Unpaid 1,000,000%. I made the mistake of taking my my older phone in there to get a new battery put in, and they kept it for like literally 10 days, I think. And it was like early on in our podcasting days, because I remember Joey not remembering that I said, "Hey, I don't have my phone anymore," and then like he needed to reschedule the episode or something, and I'm like, okay, well, I would have seen it on Discord, but I'm not going to see a group chat for like a week. But yeah, I did not have my phone for a week. It was horrible. And then it's because they ordered it and they just told me, "Oh yeah, it'll be here in like a day or two." It took like 7 days for the fucking battery to deliver, and I was
With
just
everything going on, Keith.
oh, it was miserable. So yeah, I will never go to Best Buy or the Geek Squad again for any Apple issue. I will 100% only ever go to the Apple store. I was trying to save myself time because I don't drive by an Apple store. I have to go like 20 minutes out of my way ish to get to an Apple store and like the next town over. But I was driving by Best Buy like every day for like a month straight, going to the same job site. So I was like, oh, this will be convenient, and it was not convenient.
This will be the most inconvenient thing I do in my life.
I think when I got my phone back, I had like literally like 100 missed texts. I was like, cool.
Yeah, that was twofold because also you need Geek Squad to use Zoom apparently. But Joey, unpaid or underrated, the public sphere. It's a recurring topic for you, this public sphere.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
You know something like
Keith, what do you mean? Joey talks about this like every other episode.
yeah, it's underrated, I
So
guess. So like actually it's funny because I brought it up to Morgan again today. We were at IKEA and you know, we were just waiting in the lobby for Morgan. She had to run to the car for something, and it was me and my 2-year-old. And she's like just woken up from a nap, so she's a little groggy, and she just doesn't like, she wants to stay close to daddy.
Yep.
And I see this couple come in the door and get the old ocular pat down, and right away I was just like, you're a problem. And sure enough, this dude, like, I swear he didn't even look, and he missed Saga by like half a foot. Like he was just like in his own world, powering through this like a little slightly crowded lobby. And it's just like, you know, like I can just tell you that you're the type of person. You just are not aware of your surroundings. You're not aware of how the fact that you're shouting at your wife is taking up my ear space. How you not looking where you're walking might hurt my daughter. And then, of course, the initial reaction was, and if he does knock her over, I might knock him over because, you know, it's not an accident. This is just who you are. And it's just, I just firmly believe that people need to be aware of space, which is the public sphere. You need to be aware of all of your space at all times. And that is your visual and your auditory and how much you might smell to other people, because your space infringes on their space. Space isn't like technically just physical. Space is all of it. And sometimes it means mental space. Sometimes that means shut the hell up and let people just be over there miserable or whatever. Like you're allowed to do that too. So it's a very important thing to me. Yeah.
Don't you contradict that opinion at a powerlifting meet, though, by everything you said at the beginning of the episode.
So we have this game we like to play. We have this game like...
Part of that was in jest, but because I get everything you said, you kind of like gave it the caveat. Like I understand why they would think that.
Yeah, and even then, like,
but it's like a lot, just like a couple things you touched on. I was like, oh, but I would feel I obviously if someone hit your kid, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying like being aware of the things that you do, distracting other people. Like,
yeah,
that was exactly what you described you did at the meet. But
yeah,
you were doing it.
But the alternative is, what do I sit in the corner and just stare?
I know.
Do I sit in the corner and eat saltines and hope that like this is going to be fun for me too? No, because I'm not, you know.
I wasn't trying to bust your balls too hard. It was just more.
You're not wrong, and it's something that I'm vaguely aware of. But at the same time, like I am also having fun.
I gotcha.
If people aren't there to also have fun,
I feel like Joey's self-aware though.
Yeah, I'm not crop dusting people that are on the bench, right? Like I'm not just walking by and going, because I'm not aware of space. I'm just like having fun before I go up for my lift, and if that bothers people, there is a certain level of like. People are allowed to exist in their own space, and sometimes that space can infringe on yours. But there are, you know, you don't scream obscenities in the middle of an IKEA lobby. You don't knock over 2-year-olds. You don't.
Absolutely.
You look over your shoulder when you're changing lanes, like shit like that. That just like that decision will affect somebody else.
Oh, yeah, you and I agree on that 100%. On 99% of that, I agree with everything you said there. I was just the caveat of it, just the way it was worded. I was like, wait, that kind of reversed.
No, shut up. Have fun at meets. Go home.
Oh, I do have fun. I do have fun when everything works out the way it's exactly supposed to. That's when I have fun.
I have a really good public sphere story, but I don't know if I can share it on the podcast of a mistake I made when I was in New York. But just I'll summarize it here and I'll tell you two it later. I just don't want to throw anyone under the bus. So we're on the subway. I'm wearing so the band, one of their bits is they lately have been wearing bathrobes, for their show.
The dude.
Yeah. So it's like schwitzing. It's like a bathhouse. The last album was called Schwitz, Jewish bathhouse. It's schwitz, sweat. And so they wear a bathrobe. So I was like, I want to wear a bathrobe to the show. I bet you a bunch of people would. A bunch of people did, yada, yada. But I didn't. We were just in the streets of New York all day, and I didn't know how to carry it the whole day. I didn't want to like carry the bathrobe because they're kind of bulky.
Babysit a bathrobe.
So I just wore a bathrobe through New York all day, which I was like, New York, no one will even bat an eye. Everyone was like stopping in their tracks to look at me. And we're just like, what's this? Because I was like walking with two dudes that are just like wearing t-shirts. Like this didn't make any sense what this dude was doing. But we're on a packed subway, absolutely packed. Like almost you would wait for the next one to get on. And I'm just talking to my buddy Miles about like life. And I start talking about a topic that is not something that you would apparently you would want to yell. And I thought I was talking in a very calm volume where only him and I could hear each other. We got off the train and Miles was like, dude, you were literally screaming. Everyone in the train had stopped and was just looking at you. And he's like, you're a man in a bathrobe screaming about this topic. You looked absolutely insane. But yeah, you should be aware of your public sphere, especially when you're in New York on the subway.
I have two things to add to that. I think a good example of for me was the t-shirt I wore to breakfast in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Because that was the reason it was so embarrassing for me is because I was suddenly aware of the space that I was taking.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Been there.
But the other one is what you described there. I call the funny hat story. Which all of my friends know exactly what it means when I say it. It's the idea that I went to a party once and I decided to wear a silly hat. And then I walked in the door and I got the laughs. But now I got to fucking wear that hat all day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
so
my life.
So we're always just like, oh, it's the silly hat story or it's the silly hat conundrum that like, it's probably funny for a second. But now you just have to babysit that hat all day.
Yeah. Imagine babysitting a whole stinking bathrobe through the streets of New York. It's even worse. All right. Public sphere. Keith, I was gonna throw you a curveball, but we'll keep this one easy. Unpaid or underrated IMDb.
Ooh. Damn, that's tough. Like I will always use it for the rest of my life. But it used to be underrated. Now it's unpaid because they got rid of fucking being able to have message boards and shit on there. Like circa 5 years ago, they like killed message boards, which I get. Like the message boards were toxic, and there was like the most fucked up shit. Like so, the stuff you were talking about on the subway probably is what was getting talked about on the message boards. Like
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think it's...
But like no, like I remember the message boards being like the most cruel. Like just think of like the most toxic like TikTok fucking assholes. Like just saying negative stuff to you. It was like that. But like you'd have to like sort through that to get like a good review of the movie or like backstory of the movie and stuff. So like I miss the message boards immensely. So for that reason, I am going to give current IMDb an unpaid rating, but it used to be underrated. Yeah, but I will still use it.
It's so chock-a-block full of ads, though. It's I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's spammy as heck. I think I might have sent it to you. I put it in my Instagram story for a couple weeks straight. Probably there was an app, a dude I follow named Casey List, ATP podcast. Shout out to Tommy. He's a fellow listener. He developed an app called Call Sheet that like solely exists to replace the function of like finding, I know that guy, what movie was he in? Mm-hmm. Like, and it's just no ads, just like really easy UI built for searching that stuff. And I used that and I was like, this is what IMDb could have been instead of just like an ad infested junk thing. I was like, this is great. IMDb, It's handy though. It's for sure
Yeah.
handy.
I've got over a decade of actually I have like 12 years worth of ratings, and then I went back and rated every single movie I've watched in my life before that. So like I'm too invested to import it somewhere else. And I think I even did. You showed me a different app like last year,
Letterboxd.
and I tried it, but it was too different. And I just I don't do different, dude. I'm too old to do something different at this age in my game.
Letterboxd is great though because it's mostly like pretty big like movie critics, like people that think a lot about movies. But the reviews, like I just go to Letterboxd after I watch a movie and I just read reviews, and they are the funniest. Like it's so quippy and like so smart that it's solely good for just go on Letterboxd. Like we just watched Leave the World Behind or whatever that new Netflix movie is. It's like it was like Michelle and Barack Obama were like producers on it. It's got what's her name? Julia Roberts, the dude from
my watch list.
The dude from Swan Song, Kevin Bacon, the dude that looks like Kevin Bacon. It was, and I was like, I need to go read the reviews. Like, I need to go read these comments, and I was dying laughing. They're so good. So Letterboxd, shout out to them. Joey, I did a deep dive on your Instagram. I went back decades. And I wanted Keith to use this forever ago when you guys did a one-on-one podcast, and I'm still debating if I don't think I'm going to. You posted a picture with a caption that I just thought was hilarious. And I guess if it's on Instagram, it's probably fair game. We'll cut it if you don't like this. But I want to know, Joey, unpaid or underrated chocolate butt plugs for Easter.
I don't even remember what you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, it's so funny. I would do that.
It was I was scrolling and I just saw I saw it's just like you holding.
I swear we talked about that once too. Maybe it was
it's just me and you, Keith. Because I was like, you need to ask him about this.
Okay,
I omitted.
It's just foil covered chocolate. So like in the foil, hey, look at this. It's a cool like snowman or it's a cool gnome. And then you open the foil and it's literally just shaped like a butt plug. Like it's just like a pointed round piece of chocolate. And I just remember opening it and looking at, I think I was with Morgan at the time. And I was just like, why do I have a butt plug now in my hand? Like, so chocolate butt plugs probably underrated.
Oh,
yeah, probably underrated because they taste great.
Before or after?
You heard it here first. Who knows? Need to do research.
Yeah.
It also speaks to like what because like I did a deep dive on my own Instagram. I was looking for something, and just like the way that Instagram used to be and like how people posted on there versus like the way people post now is just vastly different. And it was like I went back and there's like just pictures of me just like when Instagram had like their original filters that you couldn't even edit. It was just like you put a filter on and we would just try to see how many filters we could add onto the same picture to make it like as terrible as like it was just so much just goofiness of, and you only followed your friends, random people on the internet didn't exist, no algorithm back in the day.
And like the way that it worked then is you could post and be like, oh, I'm having an event tonight, and it would show up in people's feed in that time. And now you post something, I might not see it for 5 days.
Yeah. You're like, I want to go to that event. Oh, that was 5 days ago. Shoot.
Yeah. Looks like I'm not going to that.
Yeah. And for those keeping track at home, and for Big Kevin who has the spreadsheet, go ahead and mark down two times butt plugs were talked about in this episode.
It's a horny episode.
It's a good butt plug ratio.
Yeah, good butt title. I'm just gonna write that one down. Where'd my mouse go? Good butt plug ratio. All right.
This has been an enjoyable episode. I think it's maybe it's a good thing Big Mac couldn't figure out how to, get his mic to work.
Yeah, I would agree. That guy sucks. Anywho, Keith, speaking of butt plugs, I got this. I guess this. I don't know. I have a couple I want to run by Joey. I got a couple I want to run by you.
Hit me, buddy.
Roundabouts, traffic circles. I know you're a big traffic guy. Everybody's always commenting about Keith and his traffic dispositions.
Which is funny because I had a huge debate today with my buddy at work about four-way stops and how I think he does them wrong. But I won't diverge into that.
Well, that's not a roundabout there, bud.
No, I know. So roundabout, traffic circles, whatever you want to call them. Overall, I'll go underrated. They can be really cool when they're like easy and it's just like the one lane and you just get in and out and they're not overly complicated. When they're like twice as big and there's multiple lanes and you don't know what fucking lane to get into. People like think that they're allowed to fucking cross 2 lanes at once and fucking hit you. It's like, oh, that's always fun. So definitely had a lot of close calls in some of the bigger ones, but the smaller ones in like small towns, so yeah, they're a great idea. So overall underrated with the caveat that some of them suck.
And they
do
Is that right in the line? I don't know.
yeah,
a little bit, but they show studies show that if you replace a 4-way stop with a roundabout, there's something like a 60 to 80% decrease in accidents.
Sounds right.
I believe that statistic wholeheartedly. I think roundabouts are pretty great. I like them. If you're local to the Akron, Ohio area where I'm from, one of our main roads that people frequent, Maslin Road in Greene, Ohio, shout out that road. They just put in like 5 roundabouts. Like they replaced every intersection and put in like 5 roundabouts back to back. And people are losing their mind. But also people do not like, there's been roundabouts in Greene for forever and people cannot figure it out. Like,
yep.
You're not supposed to get in accidents in these things, but I'm like, people are going to die. Like,
yeah, because you have to yield to the car that's already in the intersection.
It's so easy. It's so easy.
You're supposed to yield for pedestrians. The yielding for pedestrians one is hard.
But we don't have pedestrians where we're like, there's.
The one right here by my house, big sign, yield for pedestrians. So you're in the roundabout and you're like, oh, because it's right by a school. You're like, oh, those kids need to cross. I will stop. But the idiot behind you is like, oh, it's my turn. And just veers into the thing and like almost hits you because they're not paying attention. So I can
public sphere.
So I'm a big fan of using turning my 4-way flashers on in a moment like that. Like if there's like a, if Big Dave is in his FedEx truck doing a delivery and he's like taking up, he's pulled off the side of the road, but he's still in the lane and I have to cross into the left lane to pass him. Like I throw my flashers on for that. I know 99% of the world doesn't. And people look at me like I'm stupid, but like, it's just, I'm in a company truck 99% of the time. Like anything I can do to make my truck more visible.
But I do. That's a good call though.
It is actually.
If I'm backing out of something, if I'm backing out of like a congested area, I'll throw my flashers on just for like the 30 seconds. Like, I don't know. That's just something I've always done. I drive my lights on 24/7 too, just so my tail lights are more visible. So when I do, like, I'm just a more visible vehicle.
Massive truck needs to be more visible. Yeah, roundabouts.
You couldn't make it orange? Is it an orange truck? It'd be pretty visible.
Paint the whole world orange.
Paint the world orange. Joey, you've been a self-proclaimed foodie. You've said you're into food, and
I was.
My wife, huh?
I was.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
lately it's just chicken wings and beer, but I'm sure the question will still work.
I like the chicken tenders.
Indies.
So my wife and I, Hulu relaunched Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, and we've been watching that occasionally.
Love Gordon Ramsay.
And okay. So the question here is unpaid or underrated Gordon Ramsay?
Definitely. Well, so probably unpaid in that he's like the biggest name in culinary on the planet, right? Like for me to say he's underrated would mean that I somehow know more than millions of people around the world.
It would be hard to say.
It's like, however, I love the dude. Everybody wants to highlight on when he's mad, but when he's not mad, he's kind. He's a good leader. Have you ever seen him with kids on the cooking show with kids? Like the dude just is clearly got the headspace, but then the insults and the anger got him famous. So that's just kind of what everybody focuses on when he's like calling people names, which he is very talented at.
Yes.
But you watch some of the earlier episodes of Kitchen Nightmares and like he's not that at all.
Yeah.
And then one day, I think he snaps on some like 16-year-old that somehow called himself a chef and was ruining this woman's business. And like he just snaps on the kid. And you're just like, but that kid had it coming. Like, sorry, dude. Like, so definitely, yeah. Unfortunately, he's got to be unpaid because, like I said, I don't know more than millions of people around the world.
Yeah. I don't know. Ramsey's really interesting because, like, watching this Kitchen Nightmares, and I'm to the point with like reality television and just social media. I just don't believe anything is real. Like, I just believe everything is staged.
Yeah.
I'm just watching this show and I'm like, I don't even think these restaurants are real at this point. Like, they're doing so many things bad. Like, I'm just like watching. I'm like, Gordon, like, this is just a script at this point. Like, there's like, it's like I know everything that's going to happen in every single one of these episodes. And I was like, I wonder what Joey thinks about Gordon. It's good to know.
Yeah, like I can see that definitely. Like, what is that? Annie's Bakery? Like in the later episodes where
I don't know. We started. They've
okay.
It's like if you go, there's Kitchen Nightmares, and then there's like Kitchen Nightmares 2023 in who like there's two different
okay.
shows now.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the new ones, but you know, this lady was like advertising fresh, but it was frozen.
Oh yeah,
and like just arguing with him and all that, and it's like she ended up getting pretty famous for being just an awful guest and restaurant owner. Like she was taking their servers' tips or something and putting it towards the house. Yeah. Like she ended up getting flamed, but yeah. I just haven't watched the new one yet.
It's good. To your point about my wife walked up and wanted something, but I couldn't understand what she wanted.
I was wondering, you were distracting me there. My
wife, she wanted the baby monitor. I stole it.
How dare she?
No, like, to your point about him being really kind, like one of the guys, he like just was like, we need to go to therapy, and like is like taking him to therapy, and like that's part of the show is like them just like sitting down. He's like, you need to talk to somebody, and I was like, this is interesting. Like, like this isn't Yelly Gordon Ramsay, but yeah, seems like a cool dude though. All right, I think I got one more I want to. Let's do this.
What you got?
I've got one. You guys do a lot of country talk around here, around these parts. And my dad, he's got one of his favorite country artists. Shout out Big Tim. Johnny Cash. Unpaid or underrated from both you, Johnny Cash, and we'll wrap this game up.
I'm probably gonna get roasted, but unpaid. He's got like 3 songs I really like, but like it's a tough one. I know Joey's gonna say the other opposite, I'm sure, but I don't know. Like if you like go to his discography, he's got like 400 songs, and like maybe you recognize like 3 of them. Like you know, I don't know. Me personally, I enjoy some of his stuff, but overall, I don't know. Yeah, for me, he's unpaid, but I still really like him. But I don't think he's as good as, like, he's so famous and so popular. I don't think if I play the game the way you're supposed to, and it's not my personal opinion of him, so don't give me any shit. But I do think he is, in reality, slightly not as good as people think he is. But I do enjoy multiple of his songs.
My first published article was actually a eulogy for him when he died. It was the first time I was ever published in something public. So
I knew that. That's why I brought it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think that I'll tell you, I take umbrage with the premise of the question. I find that Johnny Cash is rock. I don't think Johnny Cash is country. If you compare it to what country was at the time, I would say that I don't see him as a country artist. I'm also going to say unpaid because I don't think most of the songs I like by him are even by him. I think they were written by Chris Christopherson. So I would argue, I actually agree with Keith there. I love Johnny Cash. If it comes on, I'm not changing it. But I can't think of the last time I really want to listen to Johnny Cash right now. Like, I don't think that's come up in like years since the eulogy, I think. So like the what do you call those albums?
Records?
No. So the two records he did before he died that he did.
Hurt and
Well,
what's the other one?
that's a song off the album.
Well, I thought wasn't it called Hurt?
No.
It had a lot of covers on it too, didn't it?
Yeah. No, there's an era. I want to say not. It might be Def Jam. Like it was the record label he was on at the time.
Oh,
So yeah, he did. That's when he did When the Man Comes Around, Hurt, Give My Love to Rose, I think was the name of the song, where he's like crying in the middle of the song because it was right after she died. That shit is powerful.
mm-hmm.
But the stuff that he's the most famous for, I could take it or leave it most days.
Yeah, a Boy Named Sue doesn't do a ton for me, but I do like the one piece at a time always makes me chuckle, but it's almost not even a song. Like it is a song, but it's more like a ditty.
One Piece at a Time is a solid song.
But yeah, but it's like I don't know, it's such a weird, it's such an odd thing to sing about, but and also like I think I wonder if it was one of the songs that was like from like the 50s or 60s too, and it was just so like dated by the time I heard it as a kid. I was like, oh, okay, this is like a 50-year-old song, but it's still kind of interesting. But yeah, Ring of Fire is hard to beat. But yeah, the more recent Hurt for sure I play. It was Hurt an original or was it a cover?
Hurt.
Ooh, I know this answer. I want to hear what Nate was going to say.
It's a cover.
I thought
Yes.
so. I was like,
it's a
sure.
9 Inch Nails cover.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I do have and there was another one. There was didn't he do like Rat in a Cage or something as a cover too? That's what I thought.
Rusty Cage.
Rusty,
I don't know.
Yeah, something in a cage. Yeah.
I'm looking at the discography. There's so many of like those. It's like American and then like
that's it. It's the American. Yeah, it's the American albums.
Yeah. It's like The Man Comes Around, Celerity Man, Unchained, American Recording, Ain't No Grave.
Ain't No Grave was a good one.
Yeah. I think my first experience with Johnny Cash as a teenager working at the movie theaters. Was that Benicio del Toro movie where he like got in a knife fight with someone in like the early 2000s? And it was like a survivalist kind of thing. I don't remember exactly what it was, but that was literally the premise of it. It was like Benicio del Toro and some other like famous actor like knife fighting for like 3 hours. And Johnny Cash, like When the Man Come Around, I'm pretty sure it was like playing through the credits. So when we're like sweeping up the movie theater, waiting for the next, basically to go through the aisles and sweep up all the popcorn and shit, I just remember that like song blaring for like 3 months straight while that particular movie was in the theater. Fuck, that's bugging me. I can't think of the name of that, but we'll look at it later.
I'll have to restructure Glaze Search so you can find it.
Put a discography shirts in there as well.
Yeah, well, good luck, or good luck. Daggone it. Good news for you guys.
We passed.
Looks like you passed. So I will take this episode and all of these files, and I will publish them to the internet. We can make this live. And that segment that we just went through was brought to you by our good friends at Massonomics. You might know them. You might love them. And it might sound like I have an ad read prepared, but I don't. But I will extemporaneously tell you about our good friends at Massonomics. Our good friend Keith, he just visited them in person, and he told you one thing that we know about Tanner and Tommy. They're not some big internet celebrity. They're not some big, unattainable, unreachable person that just sits on a throne of lift shorts and $2 bills. They're people just like me and you. They put their pants on the same way we do. Their jean shorts, their lift shorts, they put them on the same way we do. They're real people, and they want to get to know you. And you might say, Big Nate, how would they get to know me? How could I get to know Big Tanner? How could I make them come to my level and, talk to me on a daily basis, hang out with me, be friends with me, allow me to fly halfway across the country for an anniversary gift to hang out with them and get sloshed and hang out with their meat sticks and whatnot. And I'm going to tell you, you can go to massonomics.com/join and you could join the crew. You could become one of their friends, and it only costs a few dollars a month to be their friend. And maybe if you're cool enough, they do it for free, but probably not for you. If you're listening, you probably should pay. Also, the 6.9 days of Christmas is going on right now. I think tomorrow, as we're recording, there's $5 off Drink Spotters. Can't afford to miss out on that. That'll be gone by the time you hear this. So sorry, no clue what the future deals are, but make sure, I think there's still time left maybe when this drops. So give whatever the last deal is. But yeah, thanks to Massonomics for supporting this podcast.
I'm about ready to pass out.
Yeah, we got one more. We have one more ad read.
We can skip that one.
All right, we'll edit that.
They're just affiliates. They don't pay us, so we're good.
They don't pay us. They don't pay the bills.
We get 1 or 2 a week. We're good.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking around. I know Matt was pretty frustrating. I know that you guys have a hard time putting up with me and my leadership style with this podcast. So I'm just glad that you guys are here. I'm glad that Keith seemed to have turned his mic on. And that you guys were just ready to go and stayed consistent.
I do have to, I had to make sure my mic was on just now. When you called yourself the leader, I mean, I think this is a three-headed monster. I don't know if there's a leader.
Keith, find your place. Keith, find your place.
Yeah, I'll show you my place next time you actually make it to Aberdeen, buddy.
Aberdeen.
Exactly. That's where you sit.
Keith, you can I can drive to your house in like 5 to 6 hours.
We could all drive. We could all do a meetup and have it only be like a 3-hour drive for each of us. Probably.
I can just mute Keith.
It's okay. if I get muted, I'm gonna go to bed and that'll work.
Yeah, Keith needs to let us know we can follow his orange gym.
Yeah.
So all right, let me handle this outro. I know Joey is getting pretty upset about having to do outros. So I'll take this burden.
He does. He kind of quit. You know where to find me.
Yeah, Joey's better every week. All right, you can find us at Unpaid and Underrated Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow that. You heard about all these great pictures Keith took, all of these drunken interviews that he performed. Well, lucky for you, you can watch all of them in their entirety on our Instagram account. So make sure you follow our Instagram account. If you can't figure out how to find that Instagram account, it's linked from our website at unpaidinternpodcast.com. We got all kinds of good stuff in there. Links to our sponsors are there in the show notes for the episode. Links to go to the top right of that webpage, click on the little hamburger if you're on mobile. There's a link right to the Massonomics supporting member join. You can just click that right there. It'll take you right to Massonomics/join. You don't even have to type it in, but you should type in unpaidinternpodcast.com. Go there, check it out, share it to your friends. All right, crew. I guess you could find me at, well, if you've been listening long enough, you know where to find me. I don't even know why I do this. Find me at Big Nate. No, that's not my Instagram tag on it. My Instagram handle is NateE561 because Nate561 was already taken. So yeah, you can find me. Check out the show notes. All of our Instagram handles will be in there. Joey, where can we find you on the internet? Everyone wants to know what your Instagram handle is. Can you let us know?
Yeah, it's just my first _ last name. It's the only place I'm on the internet.
He's on LinkedIn. Don't believe him.
Oh, I fucking hate LinkedIn. I changed it so much to just not. You can't find me. It's so funny.
I found you.
Well, yeah.
So go ahead and follow Big Keith on Instagram, KeithHoneyGet73. Go follow my Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar. You can go back to Unpaid and Underrated Podcast. As Nate was saying, if you did miss all the stories, they are gone, but I did create a story highlight. So click on the story highlight, and you actually be able to watch the whole weekend at any point, because I did not want to get those lost in the ether, so they are there forever now. And until next time, boys, we'll go ahead and see you next Tuesday.